Hey guys, and a very warm welcome to my channel. So this is a video that I've been wanting to make for quite a long time because I feel that it's important to know what to expect when you go into counselling. When I was in my teenage years, I saw many counsellors and a lot of it didn't work for me, and I completely gave up on the idea. And the reason that counselling didn't work for me and that I didn't get anything out of it was, looking back I can see now, that it was because I didn't know what to expect from counselling. I had this idea in my head that I would go and see my counsellor and she would tell me what to do and she would fix everything for me. And I know I'm not the only one who has gone into counselling with that mentality. And actually, that's really not what counselling is about, and if you go into counselling not knowing what to expect, then it's less likely to be a success for you. So I wanted to paint a picture of what counselling is and isn't and what it's all about, so that you know what to expect when you go into counselling for the first time, or you may not even be your first time, you may be just wondering what's going on and what it's all about. And that's what I'm here to go through with you. As in all my advice videos, I just like to point out that I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert on anything. I'm speaking from experience most of the time. I am also a counselling student. I'm taking a couple of years out, but counselling is the career that I want to go into. So I have levels 1, 2 and 3 certificates in counselling, so I'm not a counsellor, but I have done some work and studies on theories and counselling skills, just if you are interested on my background. So I think it would be useful if maybe I start this video by talking about what counselling is not. First of all, one thing that's very, very important to realise, and for counsellors to remember as well, is that counselling is not advice giving. A counsellor's job is not to offer you advice, and that's something they really shouldn't be doing. That's not what counselling is. Instead, your counsellor will listen to you, which is primarily what counselling is all about, and help you to come to your own understandings and realisation, and help you to work through your problems and to figure yourself out. So along those lines, counsellors aren't there to tell you what to do, and if you go into counselling expecting that what they're there to do is to fix you and to fix your problem, you may not find counselling very beneficial, because that's not what a counsellor is there for. Counsellors will practice differently depending on what style of counselling that they're trained in and they're delivering to you. So there's cognitive behavioural therapy, there's person-centred therapy, which was founded in the 50s by Carl Rogers, and there's also something called transactional analysis. If you did want me to do a video another time on what they mean and the different types of counselling and how to find the right one for you, then please do let me know in the comments below and I'll work on that. But either way, the counsellor is always working within your best interest. Counsellors will always abide by confidentiality. I had a friend once who didn't want to see a counsellor because they didn't want people knowing their problems. I explained confidentiality to him and he had his doubts about that. He said, well, how do I know they're not going to go home and tell their husband at the dinner table? How do I know they're not going to discuss it with anybody else? So I just wanted to take a moment and explain confidentiality in counselling to you. Counsellors will keep everything that you speak about in the room confidential. That means it's just between them and you, unless they are led to believe that you or somebody else is at risk of serious harm. If that were the case, they would have to pass it on to supervision, and they would be doing so in your best interest. Those are only in rare occasions where they are led to believe, like I say, that you or somebody else is at risk of serious harm, in danger. They're doing that to protect you, and that would never happen without your permission. Counsellors will always try and keep you as involved as possible during that process, but like I say, that's rare that that's going to happen. And just to clarify, when I say at risk of serious harm, I don't just mean at risk of harm. For example, some people will go to counselling because they're self-harming, and you may have interpreted that as, if I hurt myself between sessions, is my counsellor going to go and tell anybody? They won't. No counsellor will expect you to stop overnight and not to do it between sessions. Similarly, if you're getting therapy for an addiction, the counsellor is not going to expect you to go cold turkey and not to consume whatever you're addicted to in between sessions. It's only if they believe that you are at risk of serious harm or somebody else's, so if there's danger to somebody's life or something along those lines. One of my counsellors when I was in my teenage years, I didn't really click with, and I remember writing on my feedback form at the end of the 6 sessions, because hooray for the NHS, but you can't get anywhere in 6 sessions, but that's a story for another day. I remember writing I felt that my counsellor was asking too many questions and that it wasn't helping me, because I felt like I was going to him and he was just saying, and do you feel like this? But actually the reason that he was asking me those questions was so that he could understand how things were affecting me, so that we could establish a way of working towards solving my problems. This was him trying to gain an understanding of how I was being affected by things that were going on and how I reacted to certain life events. Above all, by asking me these questions, he was giving me the opportunity to lead the session. But instead, I was expecting him to lead the session. I was expecting him to say, this is what you need to do this, do that, and you'll be fine. That's the most common misconception about counselling. On your first session, your counsellor will usually establish a working contract between you both. On your first session, your counsellor will usually introduce themselves and they should explain to you how counselling works. That never happened for me, but at college, studying counselling, that was something that we always did at the start of sessions. Your counsellor will usually carry out some form of an assessment on your first session so that they can understand what kind of problems have brought you to counselling, so that they can work out the best way to support you. Again, this is kept completely confidential, and if ever you see your counsellor writing anything down, that's not going to go anywhere. Counsellors are completely confidential and professional with their notes, meaning that usually they wouldn't even write your name on the same sheet that's got things written down from the session. Usually within that first session you will be able to establish a way of contact outside of sessions. So if you need to cancel a session, how to get hold of your counsellor and how to keep that contact professional. So you're not going to be like, oh hi counsellor, how are you today? Did you see the football yesterday? But usually you'll establish how to contact the counsellor in between sessions for professional purposes. Above all, counselling is a safe space for you to explore anything that's troubling you, and it's a place where you can do so without judgment. Your counsellor is always on your side. They'll always stay in your frame of reference and not in their own. And if ever you have any concerns about anything involving your counselling sessions, please do speak to your counsellor about it. They will be willing to go through anything that's troubling you. They'll be happy to answer your questions and answer any of your concerns and hopefully be able to rectify them and put them right. If there's anything in this video which I didn't speak about that you wanted to know about, perhaps you have some questions about counselling and I haven't answered them in this video, please do leave a comment down below and I will do my best to answer it as soon as I can. Remember, I'm not a qualified counsellor, I'm just here to help you, and like I say, this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time because I think it's really important to know what to expect from counselling when you go into it. But something I really want to say before I end this video is that if you have made that step to see a counsellor or a therapist, that is an amazing thing. You've taken such a brave step in coming to counselling, and if you're thinking about it and you're not 100% sure whether it's for you or whether you want to or not, that's okay. In a way, I suppose I want to congratulate you on taking that step to do what you need to do for yourself and to look after your mental health. Just as important as physical health. If you had a funny leg and you couldn't walk properly, would you debate on seeing a doctor? It's a huge thing to decide to get counselling, and I understand that unfortunately there is still stigma attached to mental health. So if you're finding it difficult to make that decision, that's completely okay. I'm always here to answer any questions that I can, but most of all, just remember that you've taken an amazing step. You've been so brave in seeking counselling, and you owe it to yourself to do this awesome thing for yourself. Counselling isn't embarrassing or shameful. I think everybody should get counselling. So like I say, any questions at all, put them down in the comments below and I will answer your questions to the best that I can. I wish you a wonderful day or evening or afternoon or week. Please do make positive choices this week and look after yourself. You deserve it. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please hit the subscribe button down below because it helps me out a lot. And if there are any videos that you want to request that I make, please do, and I may well get round to doing so. After all I want to do is help you. Thanks for watching. Bye.